It's never been possible to predict the course of an actor's career, but these days, blockbuster franchises can turn the unlikeliest men and women into certified action stars. No one expected to see the lovable Chris Pratt make the leap from Parks and Rec to the buff star of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic World, but he's just the latest in a long line of actors who transitioned from comedy or drama to big-time action and never looked back. Here are Screen Rant's 10 unlikely action movie stars. Will Smith. The Fresh Prince got his start rocking the house in the late 80s before landing his own TV show. Will Smith was known more for his comedy skills, and he wasn't exactly the type of actor you'd expect to see go guns blazing against a backdrop of explosions and mayhem. But in 1995, Big Willie teamed up with Michael Bay and Martin Lawrence for Bad Boys, and he's kept up his action chops ever since with films like Independence Day, Wild Wild West, I Am Legend, I, Robot, and Suicide Squad.
That's what I call a close encounter.
But no matter what, he'll always be Uncle Phil's troublemaking nephew to us. Kate Beckinsale. Kate Beckinsale started her career in the UK in the early 90s. She managed to leverage the exposure she got in Kenneth Branagh's Much Ado About Nothing into roles in films like The Last Days of Disco and Pearl Harbor. But Beckinsale decided to ditch her celebrity persona to star as the gun-wielding vampire Selene in Underworld, a slick gothic action flick that ballooned into a 4-film franchise. She hasn't made a habit of appearing in many action films since, but seeing her show up in films like Total Recall always reminds us that she has just as much action experience as her male co-stars. Matt Damon. Matt Damon starred in 1997's Good Will Hunting, and earned an Oscar for writing it too. After that, Damon was immediately cemented as an award-level talent on the rise. He started to get roles in other acclaimed high-profile dramas like Saving Private Ryan and The Talented Mr. Ripley. But a few years later, Damon decided to try something outside of his comfort zone, the role of CIA assassin Jason Bourne. Today, Damon's still A-list with the best of them, but when he's not starring in movies like True Grit and The Departed, he's more than happy to sling guns in films like Elysium. Zoe Saldana. This actress seems to have practically cornered the market on mainstream sci-fi these days. She's had major roles in James Cameron's Avatar and J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, but still, it's easy to forget Zoe Saldana's skills in big screen action. The Losers and Columbiana didn't set the movie world on fire, but the actress showed just how capable she is when the bullets and blades start flying. As Gamora in Guardians of the Galaxy, Saldana reaffirmed her ability to play lethal and morally gray anti-heroines. Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis is practically the definition of action hero. He established himself as one of the biggest action stars of all time, with the Die Hard series and a slew of other films ranging from The Fifth Element to The Last Boy Scout. But we tend to forget that Willis made his name in comedic films and TV shows like Blind Date and Moonlighting. Even after Die Hard 2 hit theaters, Willis would appear in comedies like Death Becomes Her and Bonfire of the Vanities. Today, it's almost impossible to distinguish him from his action persona, but there was a time when the very idea of putting Willis in such a film would have been considered ridiculous.
Welcome to the party, pal!
Nicolas Cage. It's easy to imagine a world where Nicolas Cage never starred in The Rock, Con Air, or Face Off. He could have easily focused on more comedies like Raising Arizona, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and Vampire's Kiss. But The Rock secured Cage's name in the realm of big screen action above all other types of films. Even today, he's sure to show up in the odd Kick-Ass, Ghost Rider, or Drive Angry. Not to mention indie films like Joe, eclectic offerings like Adaptation, and thrillers like Matchstick Men. Basically, the man does everything.
That is cool.
Uma Thurman. Uma Thurman first began her professional career as a model. Then she starred in both of Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill films, where she cut the image of Beatrix Kiddo into audiences' brains with the end of her sword. It's hard to imagine her on the catwalk when she seems so at ease lopping off limbs and plucking out eyeballs. But believe it or not, there was once a time when Thurman wasn't a vengeance-fueled martial arts master. She played Venus in Terry Gilliam's The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, and helped Timothy Hutton get his life back on track in Beautiful Girls. No wonder her transformation into a hardened killer took viewers by surprise. Keanu Reeves. Keanu became a fixture in action cinema with his roles in Speed and the Matrix trilogy. Before all that though, viewers knew Reeves for his laid-back surfer dude persona in his early history with teen films and dark comedies. Reeves didn't look, act, or sound like an action hero, but when he packed on some pounds and shed his hair for Speed in 1993, he fit the part surprisingly well. To this day, Reeves continues taking on non-action oriented projects, films like The Lake House, Side by Side, and A Scanner Darkly. But he still puts out hard-hitting action movies like John Wick and Man of Tai Chi, keeping his action cred intact. Scarlett Johansson. The hot and dangerous Black Widow first became noticed for her talents in another comic book movie, the low-scale indie film Ghost World. Scarlett Johansson earned even more praise years later for her performance in Lost in Translation and The Girl with the Pearl Earring. She started dabbling in action in Michael Bay's 2005 film The Island, but in 2010 she became part of the Marvel family with Iron Man 2. That's the part where she went from small supporting roles to blockbuster notoriety. Now she's making a name for herself as a full-blown action heroine, not only in The Avengers and Captain America the Winter Soldier, but even a starring role in Luc Besson's Lucy. Liam Neeson. This towering Irish actor busted a skull or two in his day before ever bringing his particular set of skills to the Taken series. Neeson had limited supporting roles in Excalibur and Krull, but he defined himself as a dramatic actor through his work in projects like The Mission, Michael Collins, and Schindler's List. Heavy stuff. Now he sports a chip on his shoulder that fuels his pummeling of European thugs and parachuting a tank out of an airplane. Looks like Rob Roy has gone from fighting English aristocrats to wrestling wolves. Whatever fueled his shift of genres, it's working, and action fans can't get enough Neeson. So what do you think of our list? Did we miss any actors or actresses who defied the odds to become believable action stars? Let us know in our comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.